the Crimson Tide is known for their three-point shooting, and yes, they shoot a lot of threes, but they do so much of that off the dribble drive. So for Purdue, containing the bounce is going to be important, and for Alabama, their pick and roll defense is going to have to be on point. Will be interesting to see how do they guard Braden Smith.
Well, they throw some size at him right away. Latrell Wright, so the best shooter is on him. There's the true freshman, Jakari Harris. Smith right away. In and outs, and Omori with a rebound, the transfer from Rutgers.
And there we saw Omori in that deep drop. So if that's the case, Smith will have opportunities coming off that ball screen.
Alabama wants to go fast. They want to shoot threes and dump it inside. Omori, jump hook. Both teams over one.
Boy, good job there by Will Burke. Just staying solid and making Omori score over the top. Never gave him an angle.
Smith considered the pull-up. Back to Lawyer, who's been shooting bonkers so far this season.
Yeah, he has lived in like an NBA Jam on fire mode. It's one of those deals where he must be thinking every time he lets it go, it's going in.
Didn't make a shot against Alabama last year. Shot clock down to 5. Kaufman-Renn lid on this basket so far.
Into that Yale game, second half, we saw a lot of that short roll for Trey Kaufman-Renn. He can be very effective at getting to his little mid-range.
Sears with it, went off against Purdue last year for 35 points. Grant Nelson. That's a good look, and Harris with the ball.
Maybe some jitters here. There have been some open looks, but nothing doing for either team early.
Big 7'2" Berg wants to get it back to one of his guards. Harris trying to get it to Berg himself.
And this Alabama starting lineup is enormous. With Grant Nelson, Jaron Stevenson, Cliff Omori, you got three guys 6'10" or bigger.
Shot clock down to 4. Kaufman-Renn got to let it go.
No!
It's not like they were sleeping, but that 3 took it to another level. Omori inside at 10 now. Stevenson an open look. Foul called against Cliff Omori.
And that's going to be the game right there. Can Purdue keep Alabama off the offensive glass? Jaron Stevenson gets a great look. Bama is moving that basketball, but Stevenson now 0 for 10 from 3 to start this year. His struggles continue with that in and out.
You mentioned the size they have. I look out there, 3 players for Alabama, 6'11".
They are enormous.
Both teams committed to playing man defense. Kaufman-Renn against Nelson.
Well, they're letting those guys play. Really physical inside.
Nate Oates said they didn't play fast enough in the win Monday night. Wants more possessions, more threes.
McNeese did a good job with that press. It slowed them down. They switched everything. McNeese, one of those teams that they're tough off the bounce, but defensively did a good job.
That's why he's missed only 1 shot this year.
And Cliff Omori must be thinking, man, it's good to be in this building with no Zach Edey.
Because he's seen it the other way.
Yes, he has.
Rutgers. A tough outing for him last year. Scored only 4 points the last time he was at Mackey. Braden Smith, Kaufman-Renn. And Nelson was the aggressor on Monday night. He cleans the glass. And here comes Sears. Foul call against Berg, down low against the Maury.
And there's that dribble penetration from Alabama early. They are just trying to drive this thing. Pick and roll here with Sears. You got the short roll. That big-to-big passing is not an easy thing. That's a great look from Grant Nelson. Just throw it up there and let Omori go get it.
Everyone just saw the foul called up on the giant screen above us, and clearly they don't agree. Take a look at what Omori has done, exactly what they wanted, the rim protection and plenty of offense too.
Well, you talked about how their defense has improved. He's a big part of that. Now, I think getting some freshmen in that are committed to guarding has pushed everybody up, but Omori, a big part of that defensive improvement.
Ball knocked back to Nelson, the new 20 to shoot. Bama just 1 for 6 shooting so far. 1 for 7 with an air ball.
Right, they have generated good looks. It seems like there's some nerves here in this building. Alabama's moving the ball. They're getting some good shots from the perimeter, and they're just not able to get them to go early.
Braden Smith had 9 assists on Monday, at 15 in a game. This is Lawyer. A rare miss for him. And a hustle rebound to Harris. Lawyer. Berg. And Matt Painter thinking about the rebounding battle, Robbie, and so far, I know it's early, but they've looked good that way.
And so far, Berg has defended Amori and now been a factor on the offensive boards.
Smith had 22 Monday night. Led the Boilers in every category. There's his first two.
Oh, that's pretty right there. I mean, he gets with that crossover, leaves Amori in the dust, and then he extends those arms out for that finish off glass.
Sears. Reitzel, their top three-point shooter, guarded by Smith. Shot clock to 8. There's foul called, and that's his second. We've got the energy inside Mackey Arena, the home team with an early three-point. What you expected so far?
Yeah, I mean, this place, and I think for Purdue, certainly getting off to make see the ball go through the basket a couple times, even if it's only been a Braden Smith layup and a Trey Kaufman-Renn sort of prayer three. Just keeping the crowd involved in this thing is going to be so big because it's such an advantage.
Cliff Omori has given an extra advantage here to Nate Oates' Crimson Tide. Was terrific for Rutgers the last 4 years. Led him in points, rebounds, and blocks last year. And he's got all the points for Alabama so far. He checks out, and Alabama will rotate in 3 different true freshmen. The first one, he's also 6'11". Aiden Sherrill in for the first time.
He can really rebound, and he's certainly a threat to shoot the basketball from 3. Hasn't made one yet this year, but they tracked all his shots in the summer and fall, and he's a guy that shot 40% from 3 for Alabama.
What an opportunity for Trey Kaufman-Renn with the ball without Zach Edey. Take it back inside. Caleb first with his first 2. And 1.
Like Braden Smith is just flying off these handoffs. When they move him off the ball, the way he's flying around, this is a terrific pass. That bounce pass, you got Sherrill a little handsy, gets some contact, and Caleb First only playing 7 minutes a game this season, but with Wilberg picking up his second, Matt Painter going to the veteran to play center. Alabama wants to run up to right, so look, Braden Smith was back. Another true freshman, Darian Reed, takes steps. And every freshman that plays college basketball, you remember when you think back on your career when it's all said and done, your first road game is like a blur. So I'm sure for these guys, I played mine at Clemson. Little John Coliseum's great, but I'm sure I remember it in a different light than it actually was. And it being Mackey Arena, boy, that is a tough spot for these freshmen. Braden Smith has a bucket and an assist, making 2 buckets. Yeah, but right there, you see the conundrum that Sherrill is in. He's thinking about getting back to the roller because of the last play, but if you don't impact the point guard, Braden Smith's all the way to the rim. Miles Colvin is checked in as well. He wears number 5. Matt Painter said he had his best game as a Boilermaker on Monday nights. Oh, what a pass. Well, that's another good look inside. And this time, Reed with the finish. Boy, you just look at the physicality of Mark Sears. He just grinds you to the rim. You got defenders coming over to help, and nobody taking the cutter. Last year, these two in December was 92-86 Boilermakers. Matt Painter said we didn't guard them, they didn't guard us. But we came out with more points. Good offensive board from Kaufman-Renn. And a jump ball. Hey, he just was patient there. It looked like he was looking for somebody, but Alabama falling asleep on him, and that's the bread and butter of Trey Kaufman-Renn getting his right jump hook. Reed, early 3. They can't find it. Purdue controlling the boards, winning that part of the matchup so far. Smith left open. He is getting some open shots. Alabama giving that up in that drop coverage. Reitzel, Reed. Alabama has not been able to capitalize. They've had good looks from 3, good looks at the rim. Meanwhile, Purdue has scored 4 of the last 5 possessions. And he's going to the line. Caleb First gets 2. Well, Braden Smith maybe hasn't made some of the open ones he's had, but he certainly has been a factor at getting downhill and pick and roll. This time he's got the matchup. It's with Sherrell. Help comes over, and Sherrell, the freshman, picking up another quick foul.
Smith is a fun watch because a lot of point guards who are veterans are aggressive to score. He's equally aggressive to get the dish.
But the thing is, you know, he's wired, I think, to pass. And I think that's a product of Matt Painter pulling that out of him. You know, and the Yale game was a great example. One of the few times that I felt like he's actually hunting his shot. I think he wants to pass first, but he is more than capable of carrying this team scoring as well.
He checks out right now. It doesn't look like he's happy to be on the bench. He's been a giant part of it. His 3 years has started every single game in the Purdue uniform, just like his sidekick, Foster Loyer. And if they can get some points out of Caleb first, that's a bonus.
No doubt. That is certainly a bonus. But to wrap a bow on Braden Smith, how about the fact that he's already 25th in Big Ten history in assists, and that's with 2 years to go.
Sears had to go high off the glass. Holloway just checked in. Inside to Nelson for an easy two.
And that's a tough spot right there. But Fletcher Loyer, if you're guarding LeBaron Philon, you've got to be to the basketball. That thing's coming to the left side of the floor. That's Fletcher Loyer's help. He's not there. Grant Nelson with an easy layup.
So in now at point guard, where's number 0? C.J. Cox had an encouraging outing against Yale. Tripped up his Loyer. Foul called at the elbow. So now we see this Purdue offense. We probably won't see it a lot tonight this way, operating without Braden Smith. As I say that,
he said, come on back.
He said, I've been on the bench long enough, and Loyer checks out.
How good is this for college basketball, though? Props to Nate Oates, and look, their next 6 games are like murderer's row. But I have nothing but respect for that. Playing good people is going to help you. But this home and home is terrific for this sport.
Smith wanted first inside again. I want the Crimson Tide to stay right here. Yeah, they go Illinois, they have Houston, they have North Carolina, and Creighton all coming up within the next month.
That tournament out in Vegas is no joke. So they're going to get another opponent that's good in that 3rd game. But they went through a stretch last year, you know, where they played an incredibly tough deal in November, December, and look at where they end up in the Final Four.
Tough fade away.
Man.
How it starts, Braden Smith.
And LeBaron Philon, that's pretty good defense. You're right there, but just better offense from Smith.
Philon, freshman, and 1.
And that's where LeBaron Philon has been so good early in his Alabama career. He's now 10 of his first 15 from 2. Hasn't shot it that well from 3, but he is shifty at getting downhill. Very good with the stop and start, that hesitation. And there, Miles Colvin playing off the closeout. If you're Colvin, have to know personnel. It's got to be a short closeout. You're trying to contain Philon's bounce.
Freshman out of Mobile, Alabama, 35 points per game his junior season when he was named Mr. Basketball in that state.
How about what Nate Oates told us today, Paul? He's been a pleasant surprise defensively. And he said in high school that wasn't always the case, as we see with a lot of good high school players. But he's come in here to Tuscaloosa and been a positive impact defender.
He said, I'm going to get you 35 a game. Somebody else can play defense.
That's right. What screens.
Oh, better block from Mohamed Diabate, who just checked in. They'll play 10, and we've seen them all so far. Aiden Holloway, transfer from Auburn. Philon gets to the lane. Did not get his second bucket. Diabate foul.
Diabate out there to be an effort and toughness guy. These are the plays that he's making early. We see him there on the offensive glass, but how about taking one away? Braden Smith thinks he's got an easy one, and Mo Diabate saying, storybook to have that program come here with the guy that's coaching him. You can't make that up.
Rick Mount's jersey hanging in the rafters. Had they had the 3-point shot back in the day,
he would have scored a lot more points.
Diabate at the line, and he's just an example of what Alabama can bring off the bench. You're paying attention to Sears, and you're watching Omori, and all of a sudden he comes in, making athletic, tough plays around the rim.
Yeah, blocks a shot, gets to the offensive glass, has great size at 6'7", 215, and he shot some threes early, and I think you'll live with him taking open ones if you're Nate Oates, but the way he can really impact is to guard and rebound.
Braden Smith has 6'11". Stevenson guarding him. Smith already with 6 points.
They like Stevenson, the way he moves his feet. And you said it, he is absolutely enormous, but he can guard guards.
Kaufman-Renn. And a rebound. Mohamed Diabate, who'll go ahead and bring it up. Nate Oates loves how tough and physical he is, but a little out of control. But a block called against Smith.
And that's part of the new rule we've seen over the last 2 years. Anything that's close is going to be rewarded to the offense. And that is a bang-bang play, but I do think it is the right call. Braden Smith, you got to square him up straight through the chest. And Diabate, man, he is forcing the issue.
And a whistle called. Foul called against Alabama away from the ball.
And they got Diabate for an illegal screen. You see him, he's just going to pick off Aden Holloway. He never comes set.
Second foul against Diabate. Cox, freshman. Tough shot. Got the roll.
Well, he's not bashful. C.J. Cox coming off a career high against Yale, 12 points. He can put the ball on the floor, and he can certainly make plays off the bounce.
Alabama loves the three. They've yet to make one. They're 0 for 4.
I think Purdue so far has done a good job of keeping Alabama out of transition. This game has been played in the half court.
Shot clock at 9. Fylong, Holloway. Still haven't hit a three. Culver.
That's another good look for Alabama.
Reitzel got it. Nice play by the freshman Fylong. Stevenson. Holloway made the non-traditional move from Auburn to Alabama. Shot clock at 5. Diabate for 2.
Well, Bama's starting to flex their muscles here, rebounding the basketball on the offensive end of the floor. They're getting second chance opportunities. The threes aren't going down, but I do think it is important to point out that so far, Bama's shooting just 30% from 3 on the year. They've had some high-quality looks. We know they're going to shoot a lot of them. They take almost 28 a game, but through 3 games, they have not made them at any type of clip.
A lot of hoops coming tonight. You can keep it going with the second half of our Friday evening doubleheader when Wisconsin faces their toughest opponent so far. The Badgers hope to make a statement against the number 9 Arizona Wildcats. Tips off tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on Peacock, right after the Boilermakers and the Crimson Tide.
Wisconsin going to have to handle Arizona's guards. You think about Caleb Love and Jaden Bradley, K.J. Lewis, and that backcourt really, really good for Tommy Lloyd.
Diabate checks out. Grant Nelson comes back in. He was kind of on a pitch count with his minutes the first couple of games with an abdominal injury, but as of Monday night, he looks to be close to all the way back.
Yeah, and a guy that didn't get to work much in the summer because of that abdominal injury, but you could certainly tell he looked back to close to 100%.
Exclamation point.
Well, Grant Nelson cannot gamble and fly through that passing lane.
Well, they get that one right away. They get it back.
Shows that speed of Aden Holloway. These Bama guards are dynamic, and they are always in attack mode.
Right back to Kaufman-Renn.
Oh, what a spin. And that's all he has to do. He loves his right hand, but as long as he goes over his right shoulder some, that keeps that defender honest.
Nelson lost it. Reitzel.
Man, these are wide open shots for Alabama.
The shots they want. Heidi, hustle. Back to Smith. How aggressive does he want to be? Heidi. And crashing inside, Stevenson and Kaufman-Renn go down.
I got a double foul. Purdue now bringing it in transition. Heidi gets a great look, and camera shot kind of misses it, but carnage between Jaron Stevenson and Trey Kaufman-Renn.
And Trey Kaufman-Renn will do something that Matt Painter does not want him to do, and that's go to the bench with 2 fouls. They have other bigs, but that is
he's part of their big three, right? It's Fletcher Loyer, it's Trey Kaufman-Renn, it's Braden Smith. And with Will Berg with 2 fouls here, 8:50 to play, and now Trey Kaufman-Renn. This Purdue front court, it's going to have to be Caleb Furst and Raleigh Burgess.
There's a double foul. The play is being reviewed.
Brian Dorsey taking a look there at that double foul. Kaufman-Renn inside, and he got the hook there on Stevenson.
Yeah, he did have him almost like it was a hook and hold around his neck.
Different look at the double foul that was just called.
Well, I think that could definitely be upgraded to a flagrant 1. Just the way that's clamping down on Jaren Stevenson's head.
He got him early up there in that sequence and brought him down that way too.
The refs always talk about how certainly you have to get him with the hook, but then the clamp down has to be there to make it a flagrant 1.
These two teams met in Toronto last December. Fun game to watch. In the end, Purdue came out on top by 6.
Bama made 19 of 46 threes in that game. It's been a different story in this first half, but they've gotten good looks. I'm sure if you ask Nate Oates about the offense they've run so far, he'd say we're getting what we want. We're getting open threes.
So it has been changed to just a foul, no longer a double foul, but just 1 against Trey Kaufman-Renn. And as you mentioned, Robbie, maybe they're taking a look at what level of foul it is.
I think they are. Brian Dorsey went to the microphone. I couldn't hear him. I'm not sure if the people at home could, but you just see right there the way he's clamping him, and that honestly is a dangerous play. So I think it is the right thing to go over there and take a look.
So if it does turn out to be a flagrant 1, what's the result of that one?
Well, it would be a second foul on Trey Kaufman-Renn, but just the free throw situation would change.
So we all await the result of taking a good long look at this.
Double foul as a result of no team possessing the ball while the foul
occurred. About Purdue shooting, they started out 1 for 7, but they put it back together since. It's a double foul.
Well, if it's a double foul, if I'm Jaren Stevenson, I would certainly ask, what did I do to deserve being called for anything in that play?
Sears has been quiet. Omori's second dunk of the night.
And that's the gravity that Mark Sears presents. You got Jakari Harris chasing him all over the floor. There's separation there, and Raleigh Burgess reacting to what would be an open Sears. That leads to the dunk inside.
Alabama foul call now. Will be their 7th. Boilermakers go into the bonus.
Mark Sears is just flying up, and take a look at Burgess. You got Omori just slipping right to the rim right there. And because Burgess is reacting, and look, with Mark Sears coming off, you've got to be aware. 43% from 3 on the year, but that means the help has got to be there. Nobody's home, and Omori's hanging on rims.
Fletcher Loyer didn't make a basket last year in the win over Alabama. On the board now with a couple of free throws. See if Alabama can get their distance game going, still looking for that first 3. Sears gets the bounce.
Boy, Bama goes back to the same exact play, but there's the strength of Sears on display. He gets Jakari Harris on his back. and just never lets him square him up. Look at Reitzel guarding that ball. Purdue's trying to set screens for Braden Smith, and they just can't free him up there.
Lawyer trying to free up. Burgess. Got it.
Well, he can make those. Hasn't made one on the year, but has done it in practice. That's a big-time look. That jump stop sets the table beautifully.
And a turnover.
Use something that just keeps us hungry.
Funny how teams that are so successful still find ways to have that chip on their shoulder every single season.
Braden
right?
Smith is a great player, but he is not short on motivation. He's like one of those guys that can find any little slight. He's going to take it and use it to his advantage.
Purdue still working without Trey Kaufman. Ran in the middle. He has 2 fouls. And he waits on the bench. Cam Heide. Jakari Harris, shot clock down to 10. Burgess just hit a 3. That's a tough shot. Good defense from Amori. Philon. Mark Sears only 2 points.
Boy, what a rebound right there
by the freshman.
The Purdue has got to match up. They never found a man there. You got Mark Sears just leaking into that play. You can't give him open shots, and then it's got to be a checkout every time.
Purdue has led this entire way. Lawyer finds his shot. Burgess.
He just swung around Amori. Amori just doesn't block out. And the freshman Rowley Burgess, what an impact he's having in this game.
Didn't score against Yale Monday. He already has a 3 and that deuce. Philon. There's their first 3.
That's a big-time pass, and certainly with Mark Sears there, he's surveying all options. He's looking to score. He's looking to his roll man Amori, and Purdue helping off Philon, and Philon makes him pay.
Braden Smith 6 points already, 4 assists as well. Lawyer often makes that runner. Rebound to Nelson.
You're right. He likes that little runner shot in the lane. Oh, what a hesitation.
Philon is having a first half.
Boy, that stop and start, the hesitation that he plays with is so hard to guard. It's herky-jerky, but what a talent he is.
Nate Oates didn't want to start freshman, but 3 have already played in his rotation. Smith.
I don't think Smith needs to fade there. I mean, Philon falls down on the screen, and Braden Smith fading for no reason.
Philon skip pass to Sears.
Jeez, man, if you're Nate Oates, man, you are thrilled with the looks you're getting from 3 and who's shooting them.
Braden Smith. Heide. Lawyer loves that shot.
For that reason, it's one of the best shots in basketball. The offensive glass, both teams getting to it. What a look, though, from Cam Heide.
Sears racing down the court. Smith with it. Brings it back under control. Fletcher Lawyer came in shooting a ridiculous 75% from 3. Just hit his first. Straight up that time.
Good contest. You had Amori up, and then that defender there getting just right back in that picture with Braden Smith.
Sears with 35 in this matchup last year. Now he has 2 buckets here tonight.
The tempo's starting to play in the favor of Alabama. They're starting to find some things in transition, that time on a secondary break.
Purdue's bench playing well, including
1 of 9 from 3. And I do think that Nate Oates will be happy with the shots that his offense has generated. But for whatever reason early in this season, Alabama's shooting just 30% from 3. They shoot a lot of them, but man, it has been a surprise to see these struggles because they've gotten great looks.
Trey Kaufman ran inside, has been on the bench with 2 fouls, has a team-high 9 points.
That physicality, I mean, he just knocks Grant Nelson back there. And if you can take away anything on Trey Kaufman-Renn, you don't want him getting to his right jump hook.
Here's the matchup, Smith against Sears. Clock down to 5.
Oh, good contest there by Bird. Hung in the play. That ball did not hit the rim, so just 2 seconds on the shot clock. Berg went on the floor, has done some positive things tonight. Now, this is a tough play to defend. Grant Nelson, one of those unicorns that can play pick and roll at 6'11", but Berg staying in it. He gets a piece of that thing, and now Nate Oates going to have to drop one of his better out-of-bounds plays.
And with that 7'2" Berg guarding Reed. Reitzel. Phylon. Reed. And one.
The offensive rebounds are starting to stack for the Crimson Tide. Purdue just not able to shut possessions down. This look in and out. It's Phylon from the point guard position going to get it. And then Darion Reed making his presence felt on the glass. A big-time athlete, big-time recruit, makes a big play there.
The Purdue got dominated Monday night against Yale in the offensive glass. The Bulldogs had more than twice as many offensive boards. Pretty even tonight. Alabama has 6. Purdue 5. Goffman Run brings it down.
And it wasn't just the glass. It was the points in the paint, too. And Yale outscoring them 50-24.
They don't look as vulnerable inside.
No, they've been much better in that regard tonight. Boy, look at all that space. They easily could have thrown it over the top to Goffman Run. Nelson's got to take away his left shoulder.
He's been winning right here in this spot. And again,
I mean, that's what he wants, and Grant Nelson's got to be aware of it.
Reitzel. Alabama had it to within 1. Back the other way. Caleb First doing a lot of good things so far.
They've gotten contributions from Berg at times. First has certainly done his part. Burgess has come in the center position. This is by far the best that this group has played all year long.
Nelson to the bench. I know Matt Painter expects his guards to take care of the ball well, but how about this? Crimson Tide with 5 turnovers. Purdue doesn't have one yet.
That's been a problem for this team. They've turned it over 13 times a game on the season.
Goffman Wren working on the jump hook this morning. First thing he did at shoot-around.
Going against Amori is a different beast, and all you got to do is get it on the rim. Alabama really aggressive at trying to block that shot.
And there's a block from Amori. Sears finds the glass.
You got to stop the basketball, and there you got Miles Colvin worried about Phylon on the perimeter. The help never comes over, and that's an uncontested look at the rim for Mark Sears.
Braden Smith has been quiet after the hot start. And that's a good look to Wren.
A good contest. Amori did a great job of stopping the layup and then getting back to contest that hook.
Alabama looking to take the lead for the first time.
Man, this game is not for the weak on the glass. You better find a body, be physical, and go pursue rebounds.
Lawyer win with that first step, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. About the time you think of him as just a three-point shooter, he does something like that.
He's really good at playing off closeouts. You mentioned how effective he is at getting to that little mid-range floater. They bring him off a lot of handoffs to get to his right hand. Fletcher Lawyer is a guy that can score in a number of ways.
Each one of these teams, Robbie, on Monday night, taken to the limit by tournament teams from a year ago, and I suppose the fans thought maybe they should have beaten Yale by more, free throw made, or McNeese State by more.
But Yale's a great program, and McNeese has a lot of talent.
It helps you in a night like tonight.
No question about it.
Peacock new thriller follows an elusive assassin who goes from hunting to becoming the hunted. Starring Eddie Redmayne and Lashana Lynch. The Day of the Jackal streaming now only on Peacock. Reed backdoor cut to Holloway.
Oh, what a finish. And the slip was beautiful there by Aiden Holloway. Purdue again, you're so focused on Sears. Holloway slipping that screen, and then the acrobatic finish.
Goffman Wren has attempted 4 of the last 5 shots for Purdue, and he's on the bench right now.
That's illegal. And Cam Heide just never came set there. That's one where if Lawyer's already left, you've got to just be okay with not picking somebody off. You got to have an awareness of that. In Alabama, the execution. There's the slip from LeBaron Philon, or excuse me, from Aiden Holloway. He just gets downhill. The pass is perfect, and then what a finish.
Purdue just one turnover tonight. 1 minute mark of the first half. Shot clock at 10. Colvin on Sears. Boy, they're making it tough on him. And a foul call against Colvin.
Purdue fans don't like it, but Mark Sears, again, I've talked about his physicality. He's just grinding you and grinding you and grinding you. Colvin's trying to stay in the stance. He's trying to get into him. Well, you got a little chicken wing there from Mark Sears. It's a tough one to go against Colvin there.
Matt Painter said today, talking about guarding Mark Sears, didn't expect anybody to shut him down, but just make life tough on him.
Well,
make it tough to get to the line.
It's like treating a really good NBA player, you know, where you're trying to make him inefficient, you're trying to contest every shot, and you're going to have to be okay with certain times where you do your job, and it's just not good enough. Now, Miles Colvin taking an assignment that time. I think Colvin's coming off his best defensive game of his career. But after what he was able to do against John Poulikitis of Yale, and look, Poulikitis is a good player, Mark Sears different level. But when you show that type of effort, you've got to bring that every night.
Now called against the freshman Philon. Alabama had to wait till inside the final minute here to take their first lead of the first half. Braden Smith goes to the line, and talking to Matt Painter this afternoon at Shoot-Around, I said, what is the one advantage that makes you feel really good about tonight? What's top of the list? He went right to this name. He said Braden Smith with the ball.
No, there's no doubt. You watch him play pick and roll. You watch him run a team. It's next level stuff. Braden Smith, I mean, just the evolution of his game from going pass first to now just making the right play. You know, if he's open, he scores. If he's not, he passes it. And he gets guys shots, man. Playing with him would be a dream.
Game high 4 assists. That puts the Boilers back on top. 14,876 coming alive. To shoot. They'll call Harris for the foul, which will send Sears to the line. First foul against Harris.
There's a reason that Sears set the Alabama record last season for free throws attempted in a season. And you even look at his free throw rate this year. Coming into the night, he'd shot 26 free throws and 28 field goal attempts. So he can certainly get there. 16 attempts against Arkansas State. It's kind of a smart play of getting to the body of Jakari Harris and getting himself to the foul line.
Made that huge jump last year from 12 points to averaging over 21. Big reason he's the preseason SEC Player of the Year and has been aggressive taking the ball to the hole tonight. Fourth tie of the game. Stevenson checks in. Sears out. Shot clock off. 12 seconds till halftime. Smith, Lawyer, this will count. Got it.
To the ball and I'm stopping it. That means I've got to get out and contest, and it can be a scary thought.
Well, the first half was all about the offense not in transition. Fast break points, 0 for Alabama, 0 for Purdue.
Yeah, that's shocking from an Alabama standpoint.
Right.
Certainly Nate Oates is going to try to turn that volume up.
Berg has 3 fouls. He just passed off to Kaufman Wren. He has a pair. Lawyer hit the bucket to end the first half and gets the one to start the second.
Purdue loves to run that handoff play to Fletcher Lawyer. They get him to his strong right hand, and then he is so effective going off that wrong right foot and finishing with his right hand.
Philon, the freshman, had 10 points in the first half. They'll just stay right here with Alabama, 16 to shoot.
You see Fletcher Lawyer, he is just going to come right up here off of Trey Kaufman-Wren. You're getting this dribble handoff. You get a little bit behind, and then look at how good he is at this little finesse shot. That's the wrong foot, but it is comfortable for Fletcher Lawyer, something he works on.
Alabama led for just 22 seconds in that first half. It came inside that last minute. Sears.
Well, that's another wide open one for a guy that shoots 42 from 3. Fletcher Lawyer encounters that screen, and Sears is wide open.
And coming back, Smith could not answer.
And a great contest from Reitzel. He stayed in that play. That was not an easy shot for Smith.
No call.
I'm okay with that play on.
Reitzel, Philon. He is the only one who's made a 3 for Bama right now.
He was 1 of 7 from 3 coming into this game. That's, again, you're stopping the dribble, so you're giving up shots on the perimeter. But I think if you're Purdue, he's probably the guy you want shooting him.
He's 2 for 2 from distance. Rest of the team is 0 for 9. Braden Smith. Kaufman-Wren.
Look at that duck in into Cliff Amore. And Latrell Reitzel just kind of let his guard down for a second there. Braden Smith had to pick the ball up. Reitzel relaxes. Smith just takes off, and that gets Alabama behind the play from the get-go. The patience here, though. Smith just waiting for his time, and you got Kaufman-Wren ducking in.
Kaufman-Wren game high 13 points.
Oh, what a block.
Oh, Maury went up to get it.
Against 99% of players in college basketball, that's a bucket, but not against Cliff Amore.
Reitzel, back-to-back threes for the tie.
You just kind of felt like, Paul, that it was a matter of time before some of these open looks started going down. That's, again, dribble, drive, and kick. In Alabama, that lid coming off from the three-point line.
It's a team that led the nation in scoring last year, 90 points per game, and they're also averaging 90 this year. Kaufman-Wren all the way in, kicks it back out to Smith. Shot clock down to 10. Kaufman-Wren, little floater.
That is so pretty there with Amore in the drop. The short roll is there. Braden Smith sets that table perfectly.
Game high 6 assists for number 3. Back out to Reitzel, new 20 to shoot. Sears guarded by the freshman Harris.
Oh,
misses the jam.
That looks like it just slipped out of Amore's hand. You never see that from Big Cliff. How many times at Rutgers did we see him just rip the rim off on plays like this? It's another drive and dish, and yeah, it just comes right out.
Nate Oates talking to us this morning about how big his hands are and how well he controls the ball.
How about the strength test that they had?
There we go.
They had that little strength tool to measure your readiness. I'd never heard of that, but Cliff leading the way at 180 pounds per square inch.
You were 4 points more ready than me.
Yes,
it was close.
We were well below Amore in the 140s and 130s.
It was all ready to say his 3rd dunk of the game.
I appreciate Alabama letting us give that a try. I've never seen that thing before.
We're tied for the 5th time here. Kaufman-Wren has 15, best in the game.
Boy, the Amore factor down there. Kaufman-Wren is just not comfortable.
Reitzel, Philon, back to Reitzel. Sears from way downtown, got it.
Boy, he shoots it with some incredible range, and he shoots it easy. Cliff Amore is hurt.
Cliff Amore will take a seat. As as you mentioned, he's really been the one that has affected Kaufman-Renn the most inside.
He's been the only guy that's been able to guard him inside.
Under the basket. Hard to tell what happened.
Doesn't look like anything on that play.
Smith to Kaufman-Renn.
Good vertical contest, man. Grant Nelson straight up.
Lawyer.
Smith.
Lawyer. 3 more. Nelson.
Look out. Yeah. But we got driving kicks everywhere. Purdue getting it for 3, and then on the dribble drive on the baseline, Alabama cutting, and Grant Nelson with the hammer.
Alabama worked so hard to come back late in that first half to lead for the first time. Now they're up by 2. Lawyer.
Oh, man.
Finesse. And shall I say creativity? But Fletcher Lawyer just knocked down a 3. Remember, he hit a big one to end the first half as well. Last year against Alabama in mind a little bit too, when he went 0 for. His only points came from the line.
Yeah.
A rare miss. Still has a game-high 17 points. Phylon in a hurry.
Boy, he can really push tempo. That's a Nate Oates offense. That can be a very good thing.
To the lane, kicks it out to Holloway. They had made 3 threes. Here comes Smith. He's got Lawyer. Couldn't quite get it to him. Game-high 7 assists right now for Smith. Miles Colvin has been quiet offensively. Smith fade away.
Boy, that is high-level offense right there. You got Aiden Holloway on your back, and then just that big step to create space.
Smith joins his backcourt mate Lawyer in double figures now with 10. What a first step.
Now he traveled,
yeah.
And he picked that pivot foot up. That's one where LeBaron Phylon has got to come to a jump stop. Then you can head fake, you can score it, you can spray it. But he gets a little bit of happy feet as he makes his way into the paint, and that's going to Purdue.
6 turnovers now for Alabama. Meanwhile, Purdue still has only 1.
That is substantially different from what we have seen through Purdue on their first 3 games.
It was turnovers and rebounds that were the issue. Much better tonight. Kaufman-Renn against Sears. Oh, he had first. Shot clock to 5.
Wow.
Braden Smith, heck of a play.
Those 50-50 balls are so important in any game, but certainly one where you got the number 2 team in the country in your building. And listen to this reception as Braden Smith comes back to the floor.
He walked right by all the fans as well. All right, now they have 3 seconds to shoot.
This is like a timeout. They're going to take a look, but this allows Matt Painter. They're going to look at the shot clock. It's not about possession. So this means Purdue can really dial one up.
We'll be listening to Brian Dorsey, one of the officials.
Previous play, the shot clock is under review.
So right now it shows 3 seconds, which is a decent amount of time.
No, you certainly have time for even a dribble or 2. It looks like it could be around 3.5, actually, if that ball hit the line. Kind of hard to tell because the table lining there.
It shows 3.1 right now. It wouldn't be much of an increase if they change it at all.
Upon review, the shot clock will remain the same. 3.1 seconds to Purdue possession.
All right, so 3.1 to operate. They had that full timeout there, but they used it as a strategic timeout to draw up a play. Their leading scorer, top scorer in the game, Fletcher Loyer, will bring it out. Or he will inbound.
Oh, wow. That was not there.
Grant Nelson went up to get it. Philon back with it. Nelson can do this. Alabama back on top.
And drawing that up, surprising to see Purdue have a sequence like that. Bad turnover, the play wasn't there on the lob, and then you don't match up, and Grant Nelson takes advantage.
Kaufman-Renn was great in the first half.
Without Cliff, there's just no resistance that can keep him away from his right jump hook.
I talked earlier about the opportunity for him inside without Edey, and he has taken advantage of that on a big stage tonight. Sears into traffic. Scoop. He walked before.
Nanotes wants a block. Let's see on this replay. Certainly Sears driving the ball. Now that could have certainly... I think Kaufman-Renn got away with that little, it's almost like an offensive lineman pass blocking him there. That totally could have been a foul on Purdue.
Oilers take it back the other way. Looking to increase that 1-point lead. They want to get it inside. Now Omori is back in. And of course he's on Kaufman-Renn. Kaufman-Renn still gets it done. Sears, Philon, Stevenson. Omori came up with it. 3 more. The freshman Philon stays high.
The blockout for Purdue was almost too good. No one goes and pursues the basketball. And I'm telling you, Paul, I will take LeBaron Philon on my team every day of the week. He has made threes. He's gotten into the paint. Jaren Stevenson struggles to continue from the three-point line. And there you see Caleb first a little bit late to it. And Philon just stepping right in off the offensive board.
Team high 16 points. We talked about it this morning. What a fun watch his first 3 games have been. A lot of creativity, a lot of positive energy.
But nothing like this. To do this in this atmosphere in your first road game as a freshman, that is tremendous. Smith.
And a rebound to Nelson.
Boy, Omori just does such a nice job of getting vertical.
Philon right back to Nelson and 2 more.
With some pace, Alabama getting right to that pick and roll. That weak side is emptied out, and there is just nobody home to take Nelson rolling.
He's got 9 points and 8 rebounds. Back and forth we go here in the second half. Crimson side back on top. Smith. Second time we've seen that this half.
He loves that pull-up jumper. There's a reason he's shooting 44% on the year off the bounce.
Combination of patient and aggressive. Omori, they shoot 2.
Purdue in the first half was really good at being to the basketball and taking away that roll man. But here we've seen Alabama start to find success. Coming off the pick and roll, it was Nelson the last time. This time it's Omori. Purdue has got to clean up. If you're on the weak side, you've got to be to the ball. You see Miles Coleman is just nowhere there. You've got to be in to get that chip on Omori to the rim, and then it's got to be Cam Heide taking him on at the rim.
Alabama has multiple 6'11" players that'll be in the game at once, but Omori is really the one who's truly playing inside the entire time.
He is their center. You know, Grant Nelson is like a hybrid point forward, and Jaren Stevenson, a guy that can play the 2 through the 4. And Nate Oates' offense, like, Omori is the guy that you have to stop rolling to the rim.
73% free throw shooter on the season, makes 1 out of 2. Alabama leads by 1. The freshman Cox back into the game.
We're getting late in the clock, and Purdue really hasn't done much of anything on this possession.
5 to shoot. Didn't get the shot they wanted. Omori another rebound. Philon hesitates, and they got him out.
That little in and out just takes his defender off balance, and then it's right to the rim. LeBaron Philon knocking down threes and living in the paint.
Circuitous route to Tuscaloosa. First committed to Auburn, then to Kansas. Playing for the Tide. Smith, Kaufman-Renn has a chance to go over 20 points. And he'll go to the line.
Certainly been a guy that has not feared the atmosphere or the situation. Played in a lot of big games, certainly in AAU in high school, but this is just a step up when you're talking about your basketball journey.
Kaufman-Renn, 19 points, and Robbie, I want to point out that he shot the ball 18 times. Important because last year with Zach Edey, there was one time he had more than 10 shot attempts. He had 23 that night, early January against Illinois.
And the free throw line for him has been a problem throughout his career. So far, so good this season. Was 13 of 17 coming into this game, but they're missing two big ones.
Has been aggressive offensively tonight. Philon has as well. To Holloway.
Think about how good Bama's going to be when Chris Youngblood gets back. That's going to be scary.
Holloway, the transfer from Auburn, with a three.
Holloway really struggled against McNeese. Was 0 for 5 from 3, but he's a guy that can get it going as well. Talented player, McDonald's All-American.
Alabama's largest lead at 6. They're on an 11-2 run. Smith back to Kaufman-Renn. From distance, the jumper.
I think with Amori in the game, the ball screen and the short roll is the way to get him going here. Trey Kaufman-Renn has posted everybody else up, but Amori's been able to give some resistance.
Holloway just hit the three. Baseline to Reed. Heidi rebound.
Oh, Purdue lucky. Cam Heidi got back up there. Had no idea where Darion Reed was.
Looking for buckets on back-to-back possessions. Kaufman-Renn to Smith.
And Smith just rubbed LeBaron Philon right off of Trey Kaufman-Renn. Kaufman-Renn's the passer, but he's essentially a screen or two on that play.
4 straight points for the Boilers. Philon, Stevenson. Kaufman-Renn with a
big time block out there on Cliff Amori.
Kaufman-Renn has 21 and 6.
Man, Kaufman-Renn's effort these last 2 plays. It was blocking Amori out, and now it's beating Stevenson on that play. But this is a way that they can get him involved. If the post is going to be hard with Amori, just get Trey Kaufman-Renn in some space and let him short roll. He's good with that little floater. And then you got Braden Smith. It's ball screen action, come back, that handoff, and then he rubs his defender right off. Beautiful pass. Trey Kaufman-Renn on the delivery.
Smith already with 8 assists. Almost steps there from Boyer. Kaufman-Renn looking for one of his guards. Finds the freshman Cox. 8 to shoot. Pull up.
We got fouled. Wow. C.J. Cox, a guy that can certainly make shots from the perimeter, off the bounce as well. Looked like Aiden Holloway just clipped his leg. That's certainly a foul and an opportunity for 4 for Cox at the line.
On the ground.
That's a foul too. Yep, that's the right call.
Yep, coming back to Alabama. So the Crimson Tide were enjoying an 8-2 run. Now a 7-0 run for the Boilers.
Purdue leaving some points at the foul line here, and C.J. Cox just jumping on top of, I believe that's Aiden Holloway.
Alabama was in this spot quite a bit in the first half, and that's coming from behind. Now down 1. Sears. Blocked. Heidi to Cox. Just hit a 3. How about another? Got it! Sears. Philon. Holloway. Kaufman-Renn, another board. Purdue on a in. It's a 0-1 run.
But C.J. Cox looks like he wants to get one up here.
There it is. And there it goes.
You can feel it coming from C.J. Cox. He was hungry.
His voice above not just the students and the fans, but also that Purdue fans.
Hard to hear you, Caroline. I know you were talking about the crowd, and Robbie, before the game, you said it was the second best environment in the nation. I'd like to see what Kansas sounds like.
I mean, Allen Fieldhouse is chaotic. Mackey Arena is chaotic. But both of those venues, some of the best we've got. Thank you, Alabama and Purdue, for playing this home and home. We need more of it in college basketball.
Reitzel. Air ball. He's their best three-point shooter. He'll try again. Second time
but
to go.
It didn't phase him one bit, Paul. And that's a guy that can get it going. Was one of the most efficient players in college basketball last year. I love the way he just reloaded that thing and let it fire.
Ended a 13-1 Purdue run. Cox has been hot, up into double figures thanks to a second half.
Reitzel did a good job of getting over that ball screen and taking his shot away off the dribble.
There's their top scorer, one-on-one against Nelson. 3 to shoot.
Good block.
Heidi. Phylon in a hurry. Reitzel just hit a 3. Back to Sears. Nelson. That was offline the entire way.
Nanos did not like that shot. Grant Nelson just loaded that thing up, and if you've made a couple, all right, but that's not a great look.
Cox has that pull-up. There's their top scorer, one-on-one against Nelson. 3 to shoot.
Good block.
Heidi. Phylon in a hurry. Reitzel just hit a 3. Back to Sears. Nelson. That was offline the entire way.
Nanos did not like that shot. Grant Nelson just loaded that thing up, and if you've made a couple, all right, but that's not a great look.
Cox has that pull-up. And that's against Trey Kaufman-Renn.
Ty Lawson teams, you're talking about big-time programs.
The Syracuse had the most wins there overall, but Purdue, you saw the gold 6. By far, the most 6 over top 10 teams. Diabate hasn't been seen since the first half. And there's 2. And foul called. He fouled before the shot.
And that's kind of creeping in again, where Purdue's pick-and-roll defense has just not been as good here in the second half. Braden Smith has got to be in. He's in that right corner. As that ball goes away from you, you are taking on the roll man.
Sears thought he had it inside. 18 to shoot. It'll stay right here. Well, Alabama needs something here, Robbie. They've made 1 of their last 7 shots.
Well, Alabama made that run, and it looked like Purdue was kind of teetering, and then Purdue came right back at you. Diabate shooting 3s this year, and boy, that one was halfway down.
Braden Smith barely saved that one on the floor once again, second time in the second half.
Purdue just didn't guard him. Diabate, a guy that last year only took 11, made 1, but this year 2 of 3 from 3 on the season.
Alabama led by as many as 6 here in the second half. Shot clock to 10.
He traveled.
Three turnovers, only 3 against Purdue.
They've been exceptional at taking care of the ball. Obviously, you don't want them, but the dead ball turnovers are the ones that you can live with that, because Alabama's not getting out and running. It's the live ball ones where you can really get in trouble with the Crimson Tide.
Sears 13 points, team best 5 assists. Gets to the lane, tough shot. Freshman Cox shows up again.
And Purdue's done a pretty good job on the glass as well. With Alabama's size and Purdue's struggles this year, it's got to be a pleasant surprise for Matt Painter.
We come back to that word we used early. They look vulnerable against.
Absolutely.
Against
Their
the
fives, though, have done what they've needed to do. They've defended, they've rebounded, and they've been able to make some shots at the rim.
Cam Heidi to the party. He's not missed a three yet. There's his first. Smith another board. Boy, Robbie, from down 6 to up 7 like that. What a feed.
Toe speed that was.
Kaufman-Renn working against Nelson.
Good job by Nelson of just never giving an angle there. Made Kaufman-Renn score over the top.
This would be big. Offline. Nelson. Skip past to Reitzel. Huge.
Boy, what a look, though. LeBaron Philon easily could have taken that shot, but he had the presence of mind. Saw Reitzel on that wing wide open. Reitzel just made one off that reload a couple possessions ago, and that was the perfect decision in that point in time.
Things got nervy Monday night in that second half, Robbie. It was Reitzel who came up with a couple of big threes. Whistle away from the ball. It will stay right here with Purdue. The foul called inside. We'll see who this goes against. Well, there's the skip pass.
Yeah, there's that skip pass, and certainly Purdue in scramble mode off the offensive glass. Reitzel pays it off, and then so much attention going to Trey Kaufman-Renn. They're going to get it into him, and then you've got this skip pass. You see all these defenders, man, that they're just eyeing up Kaufman-Renn, and he makes a great choice to skip that thing across the floor.
Feinlong, top scorer for Alabama, just went to the bench with 3 fouls. Meanwhile, Kaufman-Renn.
Look at that. Oh, man. That's a good foul by Morey, though, especially with Kaufman-Renn, some of his struggles at the line over the last couple years. He's missed a couple tonight. The footwork totally on display. Well, Morey is sitting on that right jump hook. He leaves his feet, and he gets enough of Kaufman-Renn to affect that shot.
Robbie, he looks completely comfortable being priority number 1 in the set offense.
No, you know what? Matt Painter has talked about it all summer long in the fall about how effective he was at being the centerpiece of this offense. Now, if you're going to be the centerpiece, you've got to be able to make free throws.
Omori to the bench with his 4th foul. A lot of hoops coming up later. Keep it going in the second half of the Friday night doubleheader when Wisconsin faces their toughest test yet. The Badgers hope to make a statement against the number 9 Wildcats. Tips off right after this one, 9 o'clock Eastern on Peacock. Kaufman-Renn having himself a night, 22 points, but only 1 out of 4 from the line. Purdue on top by 5. Nelson, Holloway, one of their best 3-point shooters, step back. Reitzel to Sears. In and out.
Well, he's had some good looks. That's another driving kick that generates a good look for an All-American.
Purdue more than happy, Robbie, now just to show the patience that they've had the entire night.
I mean, they want this game to be played in the half court. I thought Braden Smith could have let that go.
But he likes Kaufman-Renn inside.
For that reason, he is getting back to that right hand, left shoulder. I mean, that looked like he was going to the right shoulder. No chance. He's coming back to the other side.
24 points for him, 7-point lead. A Reitzel foul before he got inside.
Well, with Amori out of the game, it has been Trey Kaufman-Renn in that painted area. 24 big ones. Also 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Looks like he's going to the left. No chance. He's coming back to that right.
14 for Smith. Exactly what Matt Painter wants.
I think the question is going to be going forward, who's your 4th guy? And C.J. Cox has filled that role perfectly. Oh, what a play.
Inside to Nelson and count it. Nelson cuts it to 4.
Grant Nelson's living right. Back iron straight up and down.
The home team bounce on the road.
Yeah.
Braden Smith up to his average with 9 assists. Maybe another?
Yeah. Boy, with that side cleared out, that action is so hard to guard. Nelson's worried about Braden Smith. But we've seen Trey Kaufman-Renn be so effective with that floater in the mid-range.
Shot clock to 10. Sears double. Smith on the floor. Gets it to Ryan.
Boy, Smith just dug that thing out. And then who was first to the floor? Braden Smith was.
Smith will shoot 1 and 1. With the Boilers up by 6.
This is big. Trey Kaufman-Renn moving his feet really well. And as soon as Sears turned his back on Smith, he's down there to dig it out. He's the first to the floor. And Purdue gets a big-time stop on the defensive end.
It's a third time in this half, Robbie. He's been on the floor.
He just competes at the highest level. I don't think it's anything crazy to say. When his time is done here, he's going to be the best point guard that's ever played at Purdue.
Saying a lot.
It's been some good ones.
And his junior season has just started. Double-double tonight. 14 points, 10 rebounds, 1 and 1. To top it off, 90% from the line.
He's just a winner. He's a guy that you want on your team.
Purdue found themselves down 6. They're making almost 60% of their shots in this second half. 8 points is their largest lead. Corner 3. First, chips it to Heidi.
Good block out there. Caleb First just rooted out Cliff Amore.
Rebounds on both ends have been much better than they were on Monday as well. Smith, first. Caleb First really showed up a lot in that first half, and now he'll go over the line. Downside for the Boilers, just 3 out of 8 from the line here in the second half. They've not led by double figures tonight. Lead of 10. Inside of 2 minutes, Purdue leading the second-ranked team in the nation by 10. Sears. Reitzel.
That was a long possession, though, Paul. I mean, that used a good 20 seconds. And now if you let Purdue burn 20 here, you're kind of running out of time.
We need some urgency there, Nate.
But you won't foul now because at this point, you've run this thing down to 10.
Smith, first. 5 to shoot. Got it off. Cam Heidi.
Wow, what a play by Cam Heidi.
Draws the foul against Nelson, and Heidi will go to the line.
In the second half, the 50-50 plays have gone the way of Purdue. This possession, you run clock, you get this thing on the rim, no block out on Heidi, and Grant Nelson fouls him going out of bounds. So Purdue for that's a perfect possession in the sense that you run 30 seconds off the clock, and now you get 2 cracks at a foul shot.
And as you mentioned, Robbie, it comes on the heels of Alabama taking their time to get their turn.
That last possession ran plenty of clock, and now you're down to 1 minute 8, and this could easily, if this free throw goes down, you're down double digits.
Now the lead is 9. Alabama's got to go. That's their best three-point shooter. Colvin to Cox inside of 1 minute.
Alabama's just going to play this out. I'm surprised they're not fouling. I mean, the percentage of winning this game is not high, but it's 0 if you don't foul. Now you foul at 9 on the clock. I just don't understand that.
And crazier things have happened than coming back.
At least give yourself a chance. Well, this building is delivered tonight. It always does, but man, for Bama coming in, number 2 team in the country, Mackey Arena was on fire.
Braden Smith has delivered a patient, productive game. Misses from the line, but he has a double-double. 16 points and 10 assists. Go back to Alabama. Just over 10 minutes left in the half, Robbie. They led 65-59. Purdue's on a 26-11 run since.
Yeah, Bama threw a haymaker, and then Purdue just came right back and knocked them out. The resilience they showed after the number 2 team in the country goes on a run like that, man, they just came out and delivered the last 7 minutes of this game.
Lead back up to 10. Sears. Now the timeouts.
Pretty eliminated yourself unless Purdue throws the ball away here.
Smith double teamed in the corner. Out to Lawyer. Break it. And Cam Heide will go back to the line. A lot of ways to look at what happened here in the second half. Stevenson will come back in for Alabama, but Robbie, both teams have made 9 3-pointers today. But you've got Purdue shooting only 16 of them, while Alabama, they posted 29.
And this has kind of been the story of their early season, that they were really injured in the fall. And you have to think maybe for the Crimson Tide, knocking off some of that rust. And certainly getting Chris Youngblood, who was the co-AAC Player of the Year last season, healthy, back from that ankle surgery he had to undergo. That will help them. Bama's got a ton of talent, and this stretch is going to test them. But this is a team that certainly can make it back to a Final Four. They've got that type of ability, and they're going to have to figure some things out here as they navigate this schedule.
Illinois, Houston, Rutgers coming up. We hit 10 seconds left. Sears to the basket.
Wow.
Colvin with the defense. And that'll do it. Purdue knocks off the second-ranked team in the country.